So I know there are a lot of people out there who do reviews on motorcycle gear, and I don't really intend on becoming one of those sorts of guys. You know, I've got back into motorcycling, I enjoy it, and because of the hiatus I had to go and buy a whole bunch of new gear, and one of the things I needed to purchase were a pair of boots. Now, previously I would always buy Johnny Rebs. They were made in Australia, I was made in Australia. Seemed like a perfect match. So when the time came, before I started hiring bikes, just to see if the leader of the opposition would be happy riding with me and to get an idea of the style of bike that I was after, I didn't even think twice. It was rather, well, I thought it was rather serendipitous. Johnny Reb's having a sale. I think I saved near enough to $50 on a pair of boots, right? I wear their long, I don't even know what the model's called. You can tell I really am not a huge believer in researching, and I prefer to just shoot from the lip. So anyway, I wear their long boots with the, I think they call it a harness around the ankle area, you know, big brass ring and 2 bits of leather or 3 bits of leather coming off the damn thing. Anyway, so I order these boots, not even thinking about it. Anyway, they arrive a couple of days later, and I open the box and I pull them out of their bags, and I discover they are, without a doubt, the most uncomfortable shoes or boots I have ever worn in my life. Like, it was literally as though someone had just whacked the top of a boot onto a oak plank, no, onto a slab of granite and said, there you go, that's a motorcycle boot. Now, in all honesty and fairness to Johnny Reb, I sent them an email telling them that I was so surprised that they were so uncomfortable, because I don't recall them being uncomfortable 15 odd years ago. I remember virtually living in my Johnny Reb boots. You know, going out on a Saturday night, Johnny Reb boots. You know, going to see the bank manager, Johnny Reb boots. Just wore them everywhere. They assure me that they haven't changed the manufacturing process since my earlier days, but I do find that hard to believe, because the other thing I find hard to believe is that 15 years ago I would have been buying boots with a 2 to 2.5 inch heel on them. Now, for many of you, you're going to say, so what's the big deal? You've got a boot with a Cuban heel. Okie dokie, but you know, I'm tipping most of you aren't in the vicinity of 6'6" in height like I am, and trust me, I just do not need an extra 2.5. Like, I'm nearing, because my kids put me up against the wall. We've got, you know, I'm sure most of you have a wall with all the heights as your kids grew up. Well, my kids made me stand up against that wall, and they jumped on a little step stool, and they measured me in these boots at 6'9", or literally just a touch off 6'9". You know, it's bordering on the ridiculous. You know, I mean, look, I'm used to people staring and little children pointing, but this just takes it to the next level. You know, I'm sure they had a model, a style, all those years ago that didn't have the big heel. You know, I could certainly live without it. So anyway, the discomfort thing. Look, I've put a pair of gel insoles in them, and that's helped a bit. Mind you, I went through 3 packs of band-aids on my little pinky toes. It was amazing. I'd walk 100 metres down the street. You know, you'd stop somewhere for a coffee, or, you know, we'd go for a meal, and then you want to take a little bit of a walk. Well, I'll tell you what, I'd get 100 metres down the road, and oh my God, my feet would just be, well, my little pinky toes, I should say, would just be all blistered up and bleeding. And like as I say, it's taken 3 packs of band-aids to get to the point where I can now wear them and, you know, sort of take a casual stroll around the block. I mean, I still wouldn't want to be walking, you know, a good couple of kilometres in them. I'm certainly not that brave. But we're getting there. So, you know, this, as I say, I'm not here to do a review. I'm just giving you my thoughts and my experience, which, you know, started off with a bad one, or as a bad one. But you know what, we're getting there. You know, and for any Aussies watching this, is it worth going through that initial pain? Yeah, to keep a good Australian brand in business, I reckon so. You know, they are well priced for what they are. You know, let's be honest. You know, I mean, you got some people asking $400-500 for a pair of motorcycle boots, and you know, are they going to be any better? When I paid just a touch over 150 for these because of the sale that was on at the time. You know, can't complain. You know, now I don't know whether it's the leather in the shoes that's softened up, or the skin on my toes that's hardened up. But yeah, we're getting by. You know, they're doing their job well, and I really can't ask for much more than that. So until next time, I wish to share my thoughts, views and opinions on products, or maybe even issues. You just enjoy yourselves, and thanks for watching.